In a recent interview with conservative media personality Glenn Beck, former President Donald Trump raised eyebrows by issuing a veiled warning to his political opponents about what they might face if he were to be re-elected. During the conversation, he revisited his infamous 2016 campaign chant of "Lock her up" and its subsequent abandonment during his presidency, only to suggest that such actions might become a reality if he were granted a second term. Miles Taylor, co-founder and senior advisor of Forward and former Department of Homeland Security Chief of Staff, joined the discussion to shed light on the alarming implications of a potential Trump return to the White House. Taylor, who is also the author of the book Blowback, A Warning to Save Democracy from the Next Trump, expressed deep concern about the direction a second Trump presidency could take. Taylor highlighted the notion that a second term under Donald Trump could pose a significant threat to American democracy. He argued that Trump's intent to weaponize the justice system against his political adversaries, as hinted in the interview, could undermine the very foundations of democracy. He even recounted darkly humorous conversations among former Trump administration officials, speculating about the possibility of some of them ending up in orange jumpsuits at Guantanamo Bay. As Trump had once considered using the terrorist prison to detain political prisoners. The revelations shed light on Trump's willingness to exploit the justice system for political gain. During his tenure, he entertained the idea of using Guantanamo Bay to send a message by incarcerating individuals from the southern border in proximity to notorious figures like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. The only deterrent to this plan was the perceived cost and capacity limitations of the facility. The interview also delved into Trump's potential tactics for suppressing political opposition. Taylor raised concerns about the prospect of deploying Department of Homeland Security (DHS) security forces to polling stations during elections. This deployment, as Taylor noted, could serve as an intimidation tactic to dissuade Democratic voters and independents from participating in the electoral process. Instances of such attempts were observed during the midterms in Arizona when right-wing groups stationed themselves as ballot watchers to intimidate voters. Taylor emphasized that such a move by the federal government would be a blatant authoritarian act. Despite Donald Trump's prominent position as the front-runner for the Republican nomination, efforts are underway in various states, including New Hampshire, Arizona, and Michigan, to prevent him from appearing on the ballot. These efforts explore the possibility of utilizing the 14th Amendment, which disqualifies individuals from holding office if they have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States. What is particularly noteworthy is that some of these efforts are not limited to Democrats, they have garnered support from conservative lawmakers as well. Conservative legal scholars are engaged in discussions about these lawsuits, including organizations like Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, CREW. The lawsuits aim to determine whether Trump meets the constitutional criteria to run for office again. However, one troubling aspect remains. If any of these courts rule against Donald Trump, there is a palpable concern that it could trigger violence akin to the events of January 6. Law enforcement agencies are closely monitoring the situation, recognizing the potential for further political instability and unrest. In conclusion, the interview with Donald Trump and the subsequent analysis by Miles Taylor paint a grim picture of what a second Trump presidency could entail. The prospect of weaponizing the justice system, suppressing opposition, and the potential for violence in response to legal challenges underscores the high-stakes nature of American politics today.